Hi, I'm Austin,
And I'm Dan.
and we're here to play games.
In the rain.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about this particular form of Seattle. It never stops raining. Although it does feel like it's raining more than it has been the last few days.
If you're from Seattle, feel free to weigh in on these weather patterns.
Right, if it's a reality, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Coffee Talk. We had another interesting set of conversations where Gala was apologetic. Freya looked like she really needs to sleep. She said she'd only slept 6 hours that entire week. So both the barista of Bill Nanigan and the reader of Austin is just about ready to put her into a booth with tranquilizer to get her to sleep.
Yeah.
But
Now,
at the end, at the end of the episode, and I'll get onto this in a second. At the
Yeah.
end of the episode, we ran into Rachel and Hendry in his Nekomimi form, and he looked like he had been beat up pretty badly, so they had rushed to the hospital. So hopefully we'll learn more about that this episode.
Yeah, we already are starting to learn a little bit here.
Fight broke out during Coachella, culprits in police custody. Oh yeah, despite the arrest, Coachella will go on. Police raid on private Coachella after party is biggest drug and sex related bust of the year.
That'd be the one that Rachel was invited to.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guarantee you Mr. Lester was involved with that.
Oh, yes.
Freya looks like she's in better
Yeah.
state.
Yeah, she's not eye twitching.
Right. All right, part three.
Here we
Oh,
go.
they're getting shorter. Okay, this
They
one
are.
actually does end. Looks like so. We'll see. Romeo comes awake with a gasp, his mind already whirling as he tries to make sense of what's happening. Was it just a dream? He thinks. Please forgive him, dear readers. He's barely awake. He has no idea how or when he got home, but he's still wearing yesterday's clothes, and he experiences the unwashed, uncomfortable feeling that comes with waking after falling asleep fully dressed. Ugh. Ugh. Then he remembers, Juliet, what happened to her? He rifles through blankets and pockets until he finds his cell phone and immediately fires off a message to her. He won't admit it, will barely remember it through the haze of panic, but he spends the next 14 minutes and 10 seconds staring fixedly at it until it vibrates in his hand and he drops it to the floor. Romeo, Juliet's voice is muffled by the carpet, but he doesn't think he's ever been so relieved to hear it. Where are you? Are you alright? I'm fine. What about you? I'm okay. We need to talk. Something's definitely different. Romeo opened his mouth to agree, but before he even realized how he feels, he's been so weighed down by his feelings for so long that he hadn't noticed that something changed until Juliet brought it up. Waking up has been bad for so long, but today he feels different. Today he feels good. When Romeo arrives at the coffee shop, Juliet is already there. She waits while he orders an Americano, patiently sipping her orange juice until he joins her. So, Romeo says as he seats himself opposite Juliet. What happened last night? She shrugs, shakes her head, the picture of honest confusion. I'm not sure, but I felt kind of light when I woke up this morning. Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. I feel like a part of me is missing. She nods in agreement and they're quiet for a minute, or a time. Juliet plays with her straw, the paper melting quickly in the icy remnants of her drink. She trails off and tries again. Do you actually remember what happened last night? Kind of. Romeo frowns and grimaces. I'm not sure though. How do you feel about me now? Juliet asks. He pauses to consider. I don't know. I still like you. A lot, in fact. But it's certainly a different kind of feeling, too. For the last few months. That's exactly how I feel. He sighs explosively. What the hell happened? Juliet leans in, holds his gaze, lowers her voice. I'm not sure myself, but I have this theory. Maybe, and I know it sounds wild, but hear me out. Just maybe, parts of us that fell in love with each other somehow left us last night. They separated themselves from this world, making their own where time loops an exact moment over and over and over again. Romeo looks her in the eye without blinking for a long moment and then bursts out laughing. You're a complete madwoman. You know that? That's just... You're not even the one who likes sci-fi and fantasy. Oh, shut it, boyo, she huffs at him and crosses her arms as she leans back. No, seriously, he waves a hand at her. The fact that that theory came from out of your mouth is crazier than the theory itself. Her lip twitches and she's laughing with him. And for a glorious moment, the air is filled with pure and uncomplicated good humor. When laughter winds down, they each find that they can't stop grinning at the other, and it's beautiful, and it's just like it used to be. A thought occurs to Romeo, and he opens his mouth, and Juliet immediately puts a finger at him. Shut up. He closes his mouth, but keeps grinning, hands held up in surrender. You can't say it isn't possible, though, she defends herself with a wry shrug. Romeo tilts his head. Nothing is impossible. So, what now? What now what? I mean, what happens to us now? He looks around and shrugs. We just live normally, I guess. It's been months, if not eons, since I could talk to you normally like this, and honestly, I feel awesome. She laughs, and it's so much easier than it has been in a long time. Yeah, I know. She smiles at him. So, we're good then? We're better than good, I guess, answers Romeo. Good point, Juliet nods. Well made. After that, life goes on for Romeo and Juliet. They're still good friends. They both found their loves, the ones who share their interests, but doesn't force them to sacrifice too many things in life. It still makes them feel like the happiest person on earth. They grow old together as good friends, not as lovers. And what about Romeo and Juliet who burn with love for each other? Readers, I'll tell you, that couple is still sitting on their bench in the park on that clear and perfect night, and they'll stay there until the end of time. They've created their own world without other people meddling, judging, forcing compromises. For the rest of eternity, they'll have each other in their pure, naive young love, and nothing will ever change that. Some people say that on a clear night with the promise of dawn rain, when the Milky Way flows across the sky and the full moon hangs low, you can see a young couple sitting on a bench in the park. But only out of the corner of your eye, and only if you've room for romance in your soul. Is it true, you ask me? Does it matter, I reply. Surely it doesn't matter to anyone else on Earth, and it certainly doesn't matter to them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sweet. I was curious how that story was going to end, and I appreciate the way they handled it.
Yeah, it's an interest. I was pretty curious myself how that was all going to turn out.
Yep.
So I guess we'll have a unique story for our last one, I imagine.
Yep.
All right.
Well, until then, what kind of tea you drinking?
Currently, Dragon Oolong. Had a hankering for it. It's really really good. I believe it is a Republic of Tea. It's got a little bit of a fruity note to it, but I don't know. It's got a very full flavor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
I quite like it.
Nice.
How about you?
I am still sipping on my Jasmine Pearl Phoenix Pearls.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been a really good drink, especially since allergies have been absolutely wrecking my system for the last week.
Yeah.
So it's been a nice hot beverage. It's not like super loaded with caffeine.
Yeah, that's a very good idea when you're under the weather like that.
Yep.
And as a reminder, that those pearls kind of come open when you brew that tea. Very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. It unfurls as it brews, which there's some artistry to that I really appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Very cool.
And I hope you, dear viewer, have also cozied up and whatever makes you feel the best way to decompress from a busy day as we dive into the story of Coffee Talk.
Yes, indeed. And without further ado, welcome.
Ah, hey Pop.
Nice.
Good evening, everyone. Everyone safe and sound tonight?
So far, so good, officer.
But the cop is supposed to be watching this area hanging out in a coffee shop. Have you seen the rain? I'm not sure about that. Hey, I'm working right now. I just love multitasking, you know? That requires a skill. Taking a break and working at the same time, you mean? You know it. That's an oxymoron. That's why I said it requires skill. Anyway, Vananigan, I really need an espresso to keep me awake tonight.
Yes, sir, officer.
Oh.
Contradiction, sir.
Yeah, I bet he's been super busy with all the Coachella stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm certain that's true.
One espresso for Georgie.
An energetic espresso to keep our officer upright on patrol.
I have never felt so validated as you messing that line up just now.
Ha! Glad to help.
It's not just me.
No, it is not.
You and your sense of humor. Your espressos are always out of this world. No, those are Neil's espressos. Don't confuse the two.
That's true.
Definitely better than mine or my wife's.
It's not a competition, officer.
Ha! It is for her. She thought if she could make a better one, I'd stop coming to this place so often. But that's not happening anytime soon. So, anything special today? Surprisingly, no. Gotta make sure this place is safe, though. What you grinning about? I mean it. You were here the last 2 days, right? Yes, I was. And some crazy things happened here. And 2 days in a row. As if the gods were trying to give me first-hand experience to use in my story. Still fretting over your story, eh? Well, the deadline for my draft is getting nearer. Oh, yeah. How's it going? Quantity-wise, it's shaping up pretty well. Quality-wise, honestly, I'm pretty confident. Best of luck, then. Do you have any updates about the last 2 days of chaos? For the Wellgrove case? Spoke to Gala about it. What? Are you going to arrest him? Some officers at the precinct were talking about it, but in the end, we agreed not to do it. Because he really helped a lot that night. We asked the folks in the hospital and some other people in the area. Without him, we'd have a lot more problems. He helped a lot, getting most of the werewolves safe in the hospital. Too bad he couldn't lock himself up in time. Thankfully, he didn't hurt anyone, so those would rather detain him. Can't do anything anyway. I'd be pretty mad at you if you did arrest him. Hey, being mad at me wouldn't solve anything. I know. What about Rachel's dad? Any idea what happened? I'm not too sure myself. Most of it didn't happen around here. What? Yeah, it seems like it happened out near Coachella. It's a long way away. I mean, it's not actually that far, but he wouldn't be able to walk it in that state. So far, that's all I know.
That's a good point.
Oh, hey, Rachel.
Oh.
Rachel! I swear every time Rachel shows up, Freya has that expression.
Rachel, is Mr. Hendry all right?
Before that, could I have a cup of hot chocolate, dark? You want dark hot chocolate. Alright. Dark chocolate, you got it.
That's just tons of chocolate. Okay.
Some days, you just need a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, there you go.
Dark chocolate.
Your hot chocolate's ready.
Thank you. That's going to be fine. He woke up this afternoon. Well, that's good. Thanks to Mr. Gala. He got help fast enough to stop things getting worse.
Fantastic.
He's doing okay then.
Oh, That means if we don't get the Gala storyline to work out correctly, then Hendry, that kind of goes off of that, because Gala being there means that he was there to help.
Yeah, possibly. We should research that before our next episode and see if there are any differences. And we'll cover that before we finish this up.
Yeah, I definitely want to take a minute to go over kind of some of the alternate stuff. We'll do that in our next episode.
Yep. It'll take a few days before he fully recovers. But no permanent injuries we need to worry about. That's good to hear. I know. But still, it's all because of me. Because I didn't listen to him. And all he wanted to do was protect me. Rachel, don't blame yourself for this. Please don't take offense. But is it okay for you to leave your father alone in the hospital? His friends are there at the moment, but I can't face being stuck in a room with a bunch of people I don't even know right now. Besides, I really needed to get away from a bit. For a bit. So I told Dad I'm going to visit Coffee Talk and get some fresh air. He's okay with that? He understands. He always does, I guess. Miss Rachel, what really happened last night? Dad got into a fight with some thugs. He heard them talking about me in some very suggestive, perverted ways. Oh. He didn't like that, of course, so he morphed into his cat form and started a fight with the thugs. Why did he morph? So people wouldn't see that his human form looked like and link him directly to me. Some cops went to the crime scene and they found some eyewitnesses to testify, and they managed to find the thugs. Are they fans of yours? No, it's even worse. They worked for Mr. Lester. What? Oh boy. The reason why it didn't take long for the cops to find them was because they were already under arrest. Because the party went too far last night. Whoa. How did it all connect up? They're Mr. Lester's bodyguards. They were chilling after the show, having a pre-party before the big one. And you know about guys and locker room talk, right? Ugh. Yeah. Well, that's what they were doing. And I was the topic of discussion. Oh. I am so sorry, Rachel.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So there's that.
There's that.
Honestly, if I was in Hendry's shoes, I would like to think I would do the same thing.
You would morph into your cat form?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But also confront them.
Yes.
And you were right about his party. I'm glad I wasn't there. Once again, I owe Dad for... Hey, it's okay. The most important thing right now is that you're safe. And your dad made it through. I should have listened to him. He might have been out of touch, but he's still way more experienced than me. And he's my father. I wish Mom was here. She'd know what to do. She'd know what to say to Dad when he's recovered. You'll figure it out, Rachel. You know what? I'm sure you'll know what to do. You're an adult, remember? But I don't know. All I know is I have to be there for him when... That's it. That's all you have to do. It might be weird to hear about something coming from Freya, but she is right.
Be there when he needs you, Rachel. And whenever you need a breath of fresh air, you can come here and relax for a while.
Guys, thank you. I've had enough fresh air for one day. I'm gonna go back to the hospital now.
Thank you for the update, Miss Rachel.
Yeah, for real.
I wish your father a speedy recovery.
Thank you, Bill Hannigan. Man, what a weekend. Pretty crazy, I know. Anyway, I've got to continue my patrol. It's been a pretty weird weekend. But overall, things are still safe around here. And even with that, never let your guard down, okay? No problem, officer.
Thank you for checking up on us, Officer Georgie.
Okay then, see you.
Are you going to leave as well, Freya?
I don't think so. I've had enough rest. And I have stories to write.
You're not tired?
Definitely not. In fact, I think I can get it done today.
All right.
So I guess you passed out for like 14 hours after you left last time?
She probably did. I won't bother you then.
Oh, you're never a bother. Besides, this whole book project would never have existed without this place. And you. So thank you.
Pleasure was mine. Now, I'm sure you shouldn't spend any more time on chit-chat. You've got a book to finish.
Hee 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 hee. No problem, boss. All right. Well,
There we have it.
yeah. It's a fairly short episode, it looks like.
Yeah, I think this is going to be...
Two
Yep,
weeks
2 weeks
later.
later.
Yep. So we'll pick up next time on Coffee Talk. Will be the finale. But
Yep.
yeah, I am curious to see what would have happened with Gala and Hendry had we not had the Galahad.
Yeah.
Because I suspect
there-
if there are alternate endings that Gala would have been arrested, because someone probably would have gotten hurt.
Probably. Yeah.
And that means nobody would have been able to respond for Hendry, which makes me wonder if Hendry would have not made it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I suspect, but we will find that out.
Man, these like last couple episodes have been a little more on the somber side. Apologies,
Little bit.
but you know, this is how the stories go sometime.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this wrap up the 2 weeks later will be full of good things, like maybe Lua and Bailey's are getting married, and we'll see hopefully Myrtle and Aqua coming back from Max West in their time there.
Yes. That would be really cool.
And of course, we gotta have Gala and Hyde and their antics. Maybe we'll even see Neil.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope Neil shows back up. That would be cool.
A final hurrah of everybody, essentially.
Everybody's got to show up. It's the reunion.
It's the reunion tour and the Coffee Talk finale next week.
Yes, indeed.
So in the meantime, if you like what you've seen, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I really would love to know everyone's thoughts about the story so far. I feel like narrative games like this are a little on the underappreciated side in general. There's a lot of beautiful artistic things that can come from an interactive novel like this that you just don't get, and that's not something to do all the time, but like I think it'd be good to have. So I'm curious of other people's thoughts on this style of game.
Yeah, and the other thing I am really hoping for next time is we get a little bit more about the owner, Bill Nanigan, as well, because there's been a couple of hints dropped of, you know, what he is doing. You know, mysterious comments like "Don't worry about that. This coffee shop will remain open." That kind of thing. Is he loaded? Is there something going on? You know, he seems to be there to listen. He's a listener of sorts. And is that part of his nature, or is it just something he does?
Yeah, who knows?
We'll see if we find out next time, but either way, it proves to be interesting as we conclude Coffee Talk.
That's right. So next week we will talk about what happens with Gala and Hendry on the off chance that we don't have the Galahad. We will discuss what tea we're drinking. We will discuss what we have upcoming for our tea time next episode. And we will finish it all off. So look forward to that. And if you just can't stand not doing anything and waiting because we're just so cool and you want to watch all our videos, we have plenty to keep you busy while you bide your time for another week. Yeah.
We definitely do.
Yes. We have our longer series like Skies of Arcadia and Xenogears. We're going through Persona 3 right now. We've got
Persona 3 Reload.
right, specifically. Yes, you're right. We've also, got Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker that's played through. We've got Metal Wolf Chaos all through July.
Yes.
So lots of good places to have a good laugh and to have a good time. But hopefully this has been a good place for you to decompress. More than anything else, we're just so happy to have you here. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today. In the meantime, we hope you have just the best day ever. And we'll see you all in the next video.
See you next time.
Bye-bye now.